This week I'm in Birmingham to see how Christianity is at work in this modern, multicultural city. Welcome to Songs of Praise. On the programme today, I find out why a Christian couple have brought alpacas to this housing estate in Birmingham.
We find that walking them to and from school is a great way to meet the neighbours, and it's really good breaking down barriers with kids who don't speak any English.
Julian Lloyd-Webber gives Josie Darby a tour of the new Royal Birmingham Conservatoire and the country's only organ studio. And as Black History Month, we hear about the food and faith that the Caribbean community have brought to the city.
A spiritual tradition just doesn't really exist in the Church of England and in Catholic churches, so people wanted to praise the Lord in a different way.
Birmingham is a rapidly growing city with an exciting blend of architecture and culture. It's also one of the most diverse cities in the country. Our music today also has a rich cultural mix, and we begin here in Birmingham over at St Germain's Church with a hymn that has been a firm favourite since it was written by Fanny Crosby back in 1873. This is Winson Green, which hit the headlines when Channel 4 made their controversial documentary series Benefit Street here. Now, as well as the established community, many asylum seekers and refugees have made a home here. But the last thing I expected to find was alpacas. Now, you must be Ash and Angie.
Yeah.
What gave it away?
Would you like a go?
Oh, would I like a go? Are you kidding me? I've never done this before. Is there any trick to it?
No, you just
hold
walk
tight.
along and they'll follow you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Ash and Angie Barker describe themselves as pioneer ministers. They followed their Christian calling to come and live in this part of Birmingham 3 years ago.
Just developed from there, and we find that walking them to and from school is a great way to meet the neighbours, and it's really good breaking down barriers with kids who don't speak any English as well.
So there's over 40 languages spoken here, and Anyone can hold an alpaca. They're the most gentlest kind of animals.
Ash and Angie are originally from Australia and have spent their lives working in poor areas around the world. They were asked by the Church of England to move into this vicarage in Winson Green to run it as a community house to help the neighbourhood.
Just recently I went to visit a family. There were 20 people in a 2-bedroom house just straight behind us. So people are living in tiny spaces with no gardens. And so we thought, well, here's this big community asset where we can create a place for people to gather together and to just meet each other and reduce that isolation.
The first month we were in here, we had barbecues every single night here. The whole community just really felt like it was theirs.
And there's always a bed for somebody who finds himself in crisis, or a place to leave your child when you need a break. What we're seeing is a sort of a social cleansing that's happening in areas like London, where the poor are being moved out, and they're being moved to places like Winson Green because we have very cheap rent. So you've got a lot of single mums with lots of children being moved away from everybody they know. Well, it's horrendous poverty that we're seeing emerge. It's an opportunity for the church to get back to doing what we were called to do, and that's to love people and care for people. I think most don't need a social worker, they need a family, and I hope that's what this house becomes.
To help bring about permanent change, Ash runs a course called Urban Change Makers that helps people in the local community become leaders and run their own small businesses.
Yeah, we might do a good project, but it won't have the heart and soul of us in it and what God's made us to do. So a sense of, I think the most strategic leaders in the country are those already living in neighbourhoods like Winson Green and just don't have the opportunity. They've got huge potential. This morning I thought we'd just do a quick...
It's a year-long course that gives them the skills they need. Ash is helping Ruth with her plans to run youth clubs for children in the area.
I wanted something for the younger children, so instead of being on the streets, they've got somewhere to go and have like a warm meal and have activities that they might not necessarily be able to afford due to like family finance.
And Jay is developing his own clothing business.
Coming out of prison, I didn't have a lot of confidence. I was really lacking in self-esteem, and Ash and Angie have just really, helped me to motivate me and just show me that I can chase my dreams.
We hope people can come and dream, and sometimes where we hold on to hope for people who don't have any hope for themselves until they can see the gifts that God's given them.
One song that's been a real anthem for us is Graham Kendrick's old song, The Servant King. He calls us now to follow him, give our lives as a daily offering.
Adding to Birmingham's cultural mix is the multi-million-pound brand new Royal Birmingham Conservatoire. Josie Darby recently presented BBC Young Musician of the Year from here and returned to meet up with the principal, Julian Lloyd-Webber.
Julian.
How are you?
Lovely to see
Welcome
you
back.
again. Thank you. Wonderful to be here. You've been here just over a year now.
Just over a year in this incredible new building, which is a fantastic facility for the students.
How are you enjoying running this wonderful music college?
It's
in
really a
Birmingham?
privilege. The facilities here are just superb. And the main concert hall's absolutely fantastic. And all the spaces are really. We've got a lovely little jazz club, a little recital hall, an experimental lab, and the organ studio.
Am I right in thinking organ music is quite close to your heart?
Definitely, my father was an organist, and so it's always been close to my heart. It's an extraordinary instrument. All the amazing different sounds you can make, sort of like, not that I can play it, but it's like a king of instruments, really.